let's try and get 50 likes for Chock Armstrong. So make sure you click on that button. And if you aren't subscribed, press subscribe now.
Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about aerobic training and personally just why I got into cycling. So we're going to attack this video a little bit more from a subjective personal standpoint rather than focusing on the science and the whys of doing aerobic training as a strength athlete. If you haven't heard Jamie Buziotis talk about the science and the physiology behind it and why you should do it, highly recommend listening to Weekly Weights. He was just out on an episode a couple weeks ago talking about aerobic training for the strength athlete. We also have a seminar that you can purchase on our website where he talks all about that, and there's some YouTube videos where he's discussed this in the past. So if you want to learn more about the actual physiology and the science of it, dive into that content, because I'm going to be talking about my personal and own experience with this. So recently I've taken up cycling, and the premise of this video is, why did I take up cycling? So firstly, a few of the guys were doing it, so it seemed like something fun to do with my mates, and lockdown 2.0 kicked in, and I was like, stuff this, I'm buying a bike, I'm gonna get out on the road and start cycling. Got a little bit sick of training in the garage, which I've sort of adapted to better now, but that was the main reason, was first just enjoyment. Something to get me out of the house and something that I enjoy. And I know we get stuck into this debate of what's optimal and is this optimal and will this, and I'm not really fussed about that right now. My goals are still very heavily orientated towards powerlifting, and I do want to deadlift 320 and squat 280 and total 800, and I know I'll still get there. But at the moment, I'm damn enjoying cycling, and I'm just going to keep doing it because I enjoy it. And that's something that I think people miss a lot when they read textbooks, look into research. Yes, all that stuff's useful, and I do that, and we do that at Melbourne Strength Culture. We look at that evidence, but do stuff because you enjoy it as well. Like, you want to make training fun and enjoyable. So that is the first reason why I took up cycling. Second was monotony of training, and this sort of ties into the previous point, but monotony of training was a big thing. Obviously, squat, bench, dead. I've been competitively powerlifting for nearly 4 years in competitions, doing strength training before that for a year, 18 months. So let's say 5 years of squat, bench, dead somewhere there, and then years before that of just doing general bodybuilding stuff in the gym, broing our way, trying to be like Ziz, Jamie and myself when we were a lot younger. So the monotony can build up, it can get quite boring sometimes. I still do love it, but just getting out on the bike has helped me refresh my training, and I kind of want to actually train when I get into the gym and into the garage. Obviously with the gym being shut and I don't have that external environment to get me going, it can be quite harder to get motivated training in the garage. So getting out on the bike once or twice a week has helped a lot with that, breaking that monotonous cycle of training and making training more enjoyable, which I'm finding really refreshing. Third point of why I got into cycling. Obviously Jamie B has had a massive influence on me on pushing aerobic conditioning for powerlifters and strength athletes, so that's one point. But the second is to not feel fat. I used to play footy. I used to play Aussie rules football. I played that since I was 10, 11 years old up until 2017. So, you know, I had done plenty of running, conditioning. I was fit for footy, and all of a sudden stopped that, purely just doing powerlifting, not really giving much love to the aerobic energy system, and walking up sets of stairs, I suddenly started to notice that I was out of breath. Going for a run up to get the bloody post from the letterbox, and I was out of breath. And it's just not a nice feeling. Coming from someone who was quite aerobically fit, I just didn't want to be like that. I'd go for walks with Jamie B and I'd be out of breath. And it's just a shit feeling personally. So that was one aspect, is I just wanted to feel a little bit more fitter. I wanted to not be out of breath when I'm doing certain tasks like that. So that was the third reason why I got into cycling. So the fourth reason I got into cycling personally, why I chose it as my venture for aerobic exercise was one, I used to cycle when I was younger. Dad cycled, we had bikes, we always hit the bikes. I used to take Dad's road bike out, something I'm familiar with, something I had experience with in the past. The other reason was very low stress on the joints. We don't have those same pounding ground reaction forces that you get from running, so the recovery is a lot quicker and better, and my joints and knees and everything feels better after cycling. And also just getting outside the sun, Long Beach Road, it's just a beautiful sort of pastime rather than being stuck on a treadmill or an exercise bike in a stationary point. So that was another reason why I personally chose cycling and why I got into it as a powerlifter whose goals are still orientated towards powerlifting. And the fifth and final point is, with everyone's always so heavily down, research this, concurrent training, how does it work? Even though I wouldn't classify what I'm doing as concurrent training at all, I'm powerlifting and riding a bike once or twice a week. But I just want to be my own study. I want to be someone who pushes hard on the bike, goes for 30, 40, 50 kilometer rides, and then still progressively gets stronger and deadlifts 320 and pushes a 280 squat and a 300 squat down the track. And I want to personally be my own study and just get it done and see if I can do it. I plan to be lifting strength-wise for a very long time, so I don't think this is going to hinder my performance at all. If anything, I personally think it's going to make it better in the long run, and I will be a better powerlifter because I have enjoyed cycling and taken up cycling for the interim and the foreseeable future. So again, if you liked this content, if you want us to talk anything more about the aerobic training, if you've got any questions for us, leave them in the comments below. I highly recommend checking out Weekly Weights with Jamie Buziotis talking about aerobic energy for strength training. And as always, happy lifting.